Hey guys, so as you can see, I'm obviously not in my home right now. I am in a hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going out in like 20 minutes to meet some friends and I'm super excited about that. But since I had a little time, I thought I'd go ahead and film a quick little video for you. I've been doing a lot of Q&As on Instagram and you guys have given so many questions that have been fun to answer and I've really enjoyed, but there's been one question that just keeps being asked and I've never answered it on Instagram because I feel like it's just, Instagram is not, a 15-second Instagram story isn't enough time to talk about this. So I thought what I'd do today is answer my most often asked question and give you a little bit of detail about the answer and why. So the one thing that I get asked more than anything else is how do I do it all? And I love that question because honestly I work really, really hard and I'm glad that it shows. I appreciate that it shows. I appreciate that you guys notice how much productivity I'm doing and I'm just glad that my hard work is seen. At the same time, I worry that you guys look at my life and you go, well, she has the same 24 hours as I do and I'm not getting accomplished all those things that she is. And I could see where that would be really discouraging, especially if I'm not being upfront about why I'm able to do all the things that I do. I think that my ability to do all the things that I do, and if you're new here, I run a business called thesensiblemama.com. I'm the founder and the owner of that business, and I still probably manage 90% of the day-to-day of that business. In addition to the business, I also have my YouTube channel. I have 2 very active Instagram accounts. I have a Facebook chat group that has a little over 3,000 members there that are very, very active. And I'm active on social media. I'm a full-time mom. My children are still home with me, so they're not at the age where they're out for school yet. And I'm also like a wife and a homemaker and all that stuff. I think one of the main reasons why I'm able to do all the things that I do is because I am just a naturally driven and energetic person. Like I've never been the person who can nap when my kids nap. For me, when my kids go down for a nap, it's time to get to work. And so, nap time is always the most exciting time of day for me because I know that I'm going to get a lot done during that time. Whether that's stuff related to the business or stuff related to my home, I know that I'm going to knock out a whole bunch of work during that time. I think probably the other thing is that I require very little sleep. I think I really only need 4 hours of sleep. I could do with less than that, but because of that, I am able to stay up really late after the kids are in bed and get work done, and I also get up really early. So I'm usually up way, like hours and hours and hours after my kids go to bed, and I'm usually up an hour or 2 before my kids get up in the morning. That hasn't been going as well because Abby now has been getting up at like 4 a.m. on her own, so that has diminished my productivity a little bit, but I think those 2 things, just being naturally driven and also not needing a lot of sleep, really help me get the things done that I do. But I think those are probably things that you already suspected were true of me. I think you've probably already figured that out. I want to talk to you about the things that help me be productive that you guys don't see. So probably the biggest factor in my productivity is that I have parents who live literally 4 minutes down the road from me. My parents keep both of my children on Mondays. They also take Roman to preschool and pick him up and bring him home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're now going to start taking the kids on Fridays for a half day as well. And this has all happened as the Sensible Mama has grown. So it used to be that my parents didn't keep them this much and I didn't have the kids in preschool. But as the Sensible Mama has grown and my responsibilities have gotten more and more, my parents have really stepped up to help with that. And it's good for everybody. I didn't have my grandparents in my life, so I love my children being around their grandparents so often. Of course, they love being with my parents, so that's great for them, and my parents obviously love being with their grandchildren. So I spend that time getting a lot of work done. It's time where I can focus and not have to worry about anxiously watching the clock to see if nap time is going to be over with soon. The other thing is that I do have staff now that helps with the Sensible Mama. In fact, I have a personal assistant who is in my home for 4 days out of the working days. So she's here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and she's probably going to start coming in on Wednesdays as well. She's not full-time, but she is part-time helping me with business stuff, and also just there are some days where I'm like, I have things that I need to do that you can't do related to the business, so if you could play with the kids for a little while and I'll get some work done, that would be great. So having people who are helping makes a really big difference. We're also still in the process of trying to find a warehouse for the Sensible Mama, and when that happens, I'll actually have staff who's doing all of the shipping, like all of it. So that will be totally off my plate. We're not quite there yet, so I'm still handling a lot of that. I have people who help with customer service issues on the Sensible Mama website. I have people helping with tech and doing graphics and things like that. So those are all things that I don't have to do, which helps. It helps when you have people. But the other thing that I want to stress is that I did not have all these things when I started the Sensible Mama. And I want to make that really clear, because if you're someone who's thinking about starting a new venture, something that you would enjoy, that would bring fulfillment into your life and maybe bring more money into your household, don't think that, oh, I don't have all these things that Amber has, so I can't do that. When I started the Sensible Mama, my parents lived an hour away, so I didn't have them. I had Roman full-time. I was still working part-time at my former job. I did not have anyone helping me. I was still actually driving shipments to the post office myself, so like loading everything, packing everything, loading it up in my car, and taking it to the post office. I had no one watching my son. My husband was very sick, so I wasn't getting a lot of help in terms of parenting, and I was doing it all alone. But the good thing was, it wasn't overwhelming because the business was so small. You know, I had 2 to 5 packages to ship out a day. It was nothing. So I could handle it, and I could do that during nap time, and I could, you know, put Roman in the car and drive to the post office, and I'd baby wear him and carry the packages into the post office. It was all manageable because the business was small, and I want to make that really clear to you, is that your resources will grow as your venture grows. So having no resources when I started was okay because I didn't need them. And as the business grew, I started having money to outsource things to other people. I started needing to do that. There was no way that I could do it all by myself. Now, regarding my parents, you know, I'm just very blessed that now they live so close. And I think, you know, I don't know if you could do the things that I do if you don't have parents nearby, to be honest. Because I know that I personally could not afford to put my children in daycare, and right now I wouldn't want to. So I know that if my parents weren't keeping my children part of the time during the week, that would hamper my productivity a lot. So that's probably the one thing that I think not everyone has access to. But the other stuff, if you're looking at my life and you're saying, well, I could never do what she does because I don't have the things that she has, that's not true. Like, that's just not true. You can do everything that I've done so far, and you just start with yourself, and you'll know when it's time to bring on more people. You'll know when there's enough money in the bank account to afford to pay someone. You'll say, you know what, that money's sitting there, that would look real good in someone else's pocket while they do this work that I don't want to do, you know, so it'll all become clear. I also want to say something, and that is, I'm in year 2 of the Sensible Mama. My business is 2 years old. I still don't cut myself a salary. I'm still not in a place where I feel comfortable doing that yet. I invest everything back into the business, and I'm blessed and very fortunate that I have a husband who has a great job where I can afford to do that. We don't take vacations. I don't have expensive clothes. We don't drive expensive cars. You know, we definitely live within our means, and life could for sure be more comfortable if we had a dual income. But I'm looking forward to that day. I know that it will come. They say most small businesses, the owner doesn't start giving themselves a salary until year 5. So I've still got 3 years to go if I'm on that trend. So don't be discouraged by that either. If you're thinking, I'm going to start a business so that I can start making money, just put that dream to bed, because it will be a long time before you're making money. But you won't believe how good it feels to give someone else that money so that they take over some of the stuff that you're doing. So there it is, the answer to my most frequently asked question. If you have any questions or just comments or whatever, leave them down in the comments below. If you're new here, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. I do not just this kind of content, but I do mommy content, diaper bag packing videos, and things like that, as well as story times and vlogs, you know, on the more fun side of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna head out and go see my friends, so love ya, mean it, always, mwah, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.